From Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Launch Project. I'm Matt Meehan, alongside my partner and co-host, Luigi, the Professor, Rosa Bianca. What's going on, Lou?
Matt, all is well here, and we are looking forward to this episode because there is one field. If there is one field I am totally ignorant and oblivious to, it's NFTs. So as always, we like to educate ourselves, we like to educate our audience, and who better to teach us about NFTs, but the genius of NFTs, the director of NFT Genius, the illustrious John Kraski. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. This is actually the first time I've been a guest on a podcast. I actually host my own podcast, Smoothication Experience, which I was explaining to you guys earlier, where we have different celebrities and artists come on and give us their top 5 smooth songs of all time. So love to have you on sometime. So
give me an example of a smooth song. What's the number one requested smooth song on the podcast?
Sade. Sade seems to be, people love Sade. Yeah, Sade. But smooth can encompass any genre, and that's really what we're trying to do with the show. So it can be R&B, it can be dance, it can be rock. I mean, Def Leppard had some smooth songs back in the day. Chill music, jazz. I think when people hear, think of smooth, they think of jazz, but it's actually all types of music. So we've had a bunch of different artists from different genres, and it's fun to just kind of smooth music to us is really music that makes you the best version of yourself. So those songs that you put on that you just get you energized about life. That's really what smooth music is.
I think I may send you some Phil Collins suggestions.
Yeah. Phil definitely super smooth. So I grew up with a lot of 90s R&B, so Jodeci, I'll Be Sure, Key Sweat, but I also like some of that rap stuff too, that Tribe Called Quest, Nas. I mean, I like so many different types of music. I actually don't like country though. That's where I draw the line. So
I think country is taking over. I mean, is there even rock music anymore? Is it rock bands?
I don't. It's a great question. You had the whole Nirvana, Pearl Jam, grunge rock movement. You had some. I mean, I guess Aerosmith was still kind of doing their thing for a while, but now I don't even know who. Yeah, maybe John Mayer. But he's pretty. I mean, that's probably the closest thing you have these days. So
I think they're all buying and selling NFTs these days.
I know, which is why you guys have me on. And it's funny because 6 months ago I didn't know anything about NFTs. I was trying to do a pivot because I started my career in the accounting and finance world. I'm originally from Seattle, and early on in my career, I worked for KPMG and Price Waterhouse. And then I worked for JP Morgan in their investment banking group before I went to USC and got my MBA in entertainment. And then after graduation, I kind of went on a detour. I ended up being an executive in the luxury interior design space for almost a decade. I worked for Michael Smith, who did the White House for the Obamas. I actually worked on that project. Did people like George Clooney, Harrison Ford, Cindy Crawford. And then I worked for another very well-known interior designer in New York for about 3.5 years. But I had my MBA in entertainment. I was just I've gone on this detour, and I really want to try and get back and monetize my MBA. So I literally spent probably the last year, I applied to about 1,000 jobs, got 100 interviews, got rejected by 99. And then all of a sudden I got my dream job at NFT Genius as their director of operations. And I mean, it's just been a dream come true. So
John, can we dial it back for a second?
Yeah.
Some people, and by some, I mean a lot of people, still don't know what the hell an NFT is. So let's explain what that is, and then we'll talk about the company that you are at. It's run by who? It's venture backed by Mark Cuban and
Ashton Kutcher and a couple other investors, Dapper Labs, who's created NBA Top Shop. Yeah, and NFT, I mean, the easiest way to explain it is it's a digital asset, digital collectible that's backed by blockchain technology. So it's a better way for creators and brands to monetize their creative assets. I mean, just think of this. If you you're an artist and you sell me a painting for $1 million. In the old world, that $1 million is all you would get from selling me your creative work. But what happens over the next decade? You become super famous, and I sell that painting for $100 million because everybody wants a Matthew Meehan painting. With an NFT, you're going to get a piece of that jump from the 1 million that sold it to the 100 million. So you'll actually get, typically you'll probably get 10% of that 100 million when I sell it to another person. So that's the power of the NFT.
So it's like a lifetime royalty.
The royalty stream lives with the digital asset in perpetuity until the asset dies. Not even you die, until the asset dies, which is crazy.
So John, for us old school guys that have no idea still what you're talking about, can I give you an analogy and let me know if I'm spot on or way off the mark? So imagine I'm Andy Warhol.
Yes.
And not many people can buy my paintings or sketches or cartoons, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But I get a couple of pennies every time somebody buys a Campbell's soup can. Would the NFT be the modern version of the old school painting with a royalty or an artwork with a royalty?
Yes. Yes, it would be. Yep. That's a good way to explain it. It's just a better way to monetize creative assets. It's a better royalty stream, really. Because the artist will be sharing in that revenue stream as long as the asset's alive, wherever it is, wherever it resides, whoever it moves on to. So that's really the power of NFTs. And obviously the first group of people that are really adopting it are people in entertainment, music, sports. But this is going to move on into finance. I mean, just finance, automotive. Think about a car. You like automakers could give you an NFT with your car, and that NFT will have all the service records for that car. So if you sell it to somebody else, that person knows on the blockchain, they'll be able to see all the servicing that was done. You don't have to deal with like messy paperwork and all that. You'll be able to do your financing through the NFT. I mean, there's so many different applications for NFTs. We're really in the early stages. I mean, it's like super early. There's probably right now on OpenSea, which covers OpenSea, that's where 98% of the transactional revenue and volume occurs.
What is it called?
OpenSea, yeah. And yeah, right now 98% of total NFT volume is on that blockchain. And it only encompasses, there's only 200,000 wallets. So it's a very small rogue group of people. The people right now that are really pushing the volume, it's venture capital firms, it's DAOs, which are decentralized autonomous organizations. We really don't know who's behind them, but I think it's probably groups of guys that made billions of dollars in crypto. The whole crypto guys. I mean, there's probably the richest person in the world is probably a crypto guy, but he's not going to advertise it because he's going to have the IRS up his ass in 2 seconds. So
absolutely.
And then it's these OG crypto guys they're moving the volume. I mean, for instance, there's an amazing site called WGMI.io, and it has the floor pricing of some of these OG NFT projects. Like the one that's getting the most notoriety right now is the CryptoPunk.
Yeah, I've seen those.
It has the floor pricing. So floor pricing, I don't know if you guys, seems like you guys kind of may have come from the finance world a little bit. So, but floor pricing is like the hot metric. It's basically the cheapest priced NFT you can buy in a particular set. So the cheapest priced CryptoPunk right now is $355,000. 3 months ago, you could buy that same CryptoPunk. The floor was $30,000. So, I mean, just think about that jump over like the last 3 or 4 months. It's insane.
I don't know if you've ever actually seen these, Luigi. They are pixelated. They look like Atari characters. Most of them that I've seen. Anyway.
Okay, so now, John, this is a question for you because you're a director there and you must get these offers on your desk all day long. This is the age-old question. What defines art? What defines art?
I think it's in the eye of the beholder, to be honest with you. Art means different things to different people. So if somebody, it's just, art is a creative expression of individuals, and the more the more eyeballs that want that piece of art, I guess the more popular and more valuable it becomes in the marketplace. So it's in the NFT space, art there's a lot of this pixelated generative art, like Matt was saying, the CryptoPunk, they just fed it into a computer. That's what they're doing. Artists are just typically, this generative art, you basically feed sort of certain attributes into an algorithm, and then it spits out a bunch of different images. And that's what people are really geeking out over right now. So
is the valuation based upon some sort of artistic interpretation, or is this just a classic scarcity play?
Scarcity play. It's rarities. Yeah, it's the rarities. That's the big thing that is defining value right now in NFTs. It's rarity, the traits, right? Like Gary Vaynerchuk bought a CryptoPunk, I believe, I think it was $3.7 million. And it was because that CryptoPunk had certain rare traits that the other CryptoPunks didn't have. So there were 10,000. Typically, when they're dropping these NFT collections, it's typically 10,000. That seems to be the sweet spot. So you'll drop 10,000 of the NFTs, and then they'll have different attributes and characteristics. So like the CryptoPunk, like one of the rarer ones is an alien. They only made like 90 aliens, and the rest are female. I think it's like 6,500 male, like 3,500 female, something like that. And then there was just like they threw in like 100 aliens.
How do you create these NFTs and mint them?
So like I explained before, it's the generative art. So you go in and you basically code it, and you create certain attributes, and they spit into the computer, and then it spits out all these different images. But the computer programmer is giving them kind of the guidance through code. Something I don't know. It's way beyond my comprehension level, but it's being done via computer.
Right.
But they're giving them certain artistic characteristics behind the scenes. But yeah, the computer's spitting out the majority of like the ones right now, like the CryptoPunks and like Art Blocks and Autoglyph and some of these other ones that are really, really popular. And then in terms of the process, so I mean, the way the process typically works is you have an artist come up and create the artistic asset, and they'll execute that, and then there's the development minting process where they're all backed by a smart contract, which is sort of the machine behind these things, and that's where you build in the revenue the revenue royalty stream. So like probably the most popular person right now in the NFT space is a smart contract developer. There's not a lot of these people out there. It's a completely new field, but they're the ones that have to actually build out the smart contract, which gets attached to the digital asset and gets attached to the blockchain. So that's a very in-demand position right now.
I think the world is looking at this and saying it's crazy because they're seeing art on a computer, right? And saying we're selling this. But I think there's a lot more utility to this later on, right? Like, for example, where I think the space is going to be huge is in the real estate market, right?
Yeah.
So if you own your house outright, you don't want to sell your house. You can actually sell shares of your house, break it down to 10 NFTs. Let's say, let's use easy numbers here. You own a house outright. You need $100,000. Sell 10 NFTs for 10,000 a piece, right?
Yep.
You get that $100,000, but the people that buy that NFT could participate in the appreciation of the house later on, right? When you sell it. And I think that's where people are really going to start paying attention. Right now, it's cute with all these CryptoPunks and this art stuff, but I think the application of being able to syndicate in resources that you normally can't. I mean, I read an article somewhere that you can buy a building, right? You can buy if they want to sell a portion of the Empire State Building, they would just create, instead of one person buying it for $1 billion, they'll just syndicate it and they'd sell 10,000 NFTs and you can own part of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The fractionalization of NFTs is a big thing. So people are starting to do that quite a bit. So yeah, there's so many applications. And just speaking, like, in terms of like the CryptoPunks, and Bored Ape Yacht Club is another one that's really big. People are using them as avatars on their social media, on their Twitter, on their LinkedIn, on their Instagram, and it's really the new social flex. It's like there was an article actually. I actually wrote the post. I think Bloomberg stole my thunder because I wrote a post on LinkedIn maybe 6 weeks ago, and I said, "Forget Lambos and Rolexes, NFT avatars, the new social flex." And then all of a sudden, like a couple of weeks ago, I saw a Bloomberg article with the same title. I was like, "Dude, you guys stole my shit." But I mean,
come on, John. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah, but I mean, it is really, people are really flexing those hard on LinkedIn and Twitter. Twitter is actually where the majority of the NFT chatters going on. So there's some really interesting guys. There's a guy Lupify, a guy Beanie. There's another guy, Mike Dudas. I wrote a post on LinkedIn. Anybody wants to check out my LinkedIn, it's John, and then it's Kraski, Kraski. But I've been posting pretty consistently over the last couple of months, but I have a lot of great articles and just like resources. And you guys asked what an NFT was. I had a link last week to the Andreessen Horowitz canon, which is basically the Bible of NFTs. So check that out. They're a big venture capital firm in the Bay Area, and they basically have created sort of the Bible of NFTs. So check it out. It's definitely worth just spending a couple hours trying to get your head around it, but it's pretty simple. Honestly, that's just NFTs are really just a better way to monetize assets. So it's just a better revenue stream for the people that actually create those assets. So
how are you guys over at NFT Genius using this to help businesses grow, right?
Yeah.
Brands. How are you helping them get exposure or monetize these NFTs?
Our business is structured kind of, we have a few different revenue streams that we're kind of engaged in. So the first is, we have our own internal IP. Our first project we created was called Bitcoin Origins, which tells the history of Bitcoin through NFTs. And then we also have some other internal projects. But how we're really helping people is through a marketplace we're creating called Gaia, which is going to be on the Flow blockchain. It's the same people that created NBA Top Shot. And it's a more user-friendly blockchain, because right now, NFTs there's a lot of barriers to entry, and it's very cumbersome. Like a grandma in the Midwest is not going to know how to set up a MetaMask wallet and buy an NFT. It's just not happening. So
I don't think I know how to do that.
so we're creating a marketplace where it's going to be like the Amazon shopping experience. You're going to actually be able to go on there and just swipe a credit card and buy an NFT. Very seamless. You're not even going to have to deal with the blockchain technology on the back end. You'll just literally go on, swipe your Visa, your Amex, and you'll be able to transact and buy an NFT. So we're working with a lot of third-party IPs, and we are going to help them take their projects to market. Like I said before, we're focused mostly on companies and artists in the entertainment space, the music space, and the sports space. So we're in various stages of negotiation with people on all those, and it's either big brands, big movie studios, or it goes down to the artist level, specifically, different, musicians or sports athletes. So, and we're helping them from basically it's almost a white label NFT experience. So we're going to help them in the front end with the creative, help them develop the artistic assets, help them with the development, doing the smart contracts and getting their assets minted, and then also with the marketing and pushing out their NFT projects to the marketplace. So, honestly, if Matthew or Luigi, if you guys had like a new music album you want to drop, we could help start with you, develop the creative assets, actually figure out the direction and kind of what story you wanted to be told with your NFTs, mint them and do the marketing, and then help you guys become NFT.
I like where he's going with
stars.
this. Hey John, let me ask you a personal question. So a couple of weeks ago, Messi signs this huge contract with PSG, the football team.
Yeah.
And a portion of his contract is being paid in crypto.
Yeah.
Fortune 500 company CEOs get paid in stock options.
Yeah. So
is a part of your compensation in NFT options? How's it work in a real modern state-of-the-art company like NFT Genius?
I am not yet getting paid in crypto, but perhaps there are other people on my team that are. So is it a possibility? I just decided to stay old school for now. So, because like I told you before, when I started the job, I didn't know what an NFT was. So it's crazy. Like I was saying, I'm now like an NFT thought leader on LinkedIn, which is completely insane. I'm some of my posts I'm getting 10,000 views. So it's just crazy. People are hungry and rabid for NFT information. I have people reaching out to learn more about NFTs. I have people reaching out to pitch me NFT ideas. It's insane. I've heard so many different type of NFT plays. We actually talked to a major film producer and film director who both are Oscar award winning about using NFTs to pre-finance their film. So they almost want to sell NFTs to generate revenues before they actually go into production. So, which would be crazy. So it's in pre-production. They could sell an NFT where, hey,
that's brilliant.
hey, But you could buy this NFT and they'll write you into a scene, which would be amazing. You know, imagine if it's your favorite director or an actor that's in this film, and if you're sitting on a bunch of money, like, oh, okay, I'll pay $100,000 to be like in a new Matt Damon or a Ben Affleck movie. You know, I love those guys. I want to be in a scene. I mean, talk about the ultimate flex, right? Oh, I use my NFT to be in this like new Matt Damon film. So, I mean, but people are thinking about like just crazy things like that. So honestly, it's wherever your imagination and creativity can go, but there's probably a NFT in play just in about anything right now. So you just have to put your creative hat on and figure it out. And that's what we do at NFT Genius, is actually sit down with, small businesses, entrepreneurs, artists, and kind of figure out what is that best way to monetize, your business and your revenue stream through NFTs.
So what's the short-term vision? Where's NFT going in the short term? And give us some insights as where you think it's going to be going in the next 3 to 5 years, because you must be getting some really creative offers on the table.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think short term, like I said, I think it's the entertainment, the artistic angle. I think entertainment companies, music companies, sports leagues, and athletes are the ones adopting earlier. But I think long term, it's going to probably be like financial institution, automotive makers, big brands, consumer product companies. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to really adopt it and really scale it up. Because right now, like I said, there's only a few 100,000 people that are really, really pushing the NFT volume, but they're whales. They have lots of money, billions and billions of dollars of venture capital and crypto money is really moving it. So it's a small number of people that are moving the activity now. But the next phase is mass consumer adoption. It's turning NFTs into that Amazon marketplace where it's more accessible and democratized, where everybody has access to it. So, I mean, right now the NFT world, I mean, for more, it's, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's white, it's male. It's probably like, late 30s, early 40s. I mean, it's a very undiverse group of people right now that are pushing NFT volume. So
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin. Honestly, I think those guys basically followed the same trends of crypto, and now they've applied it to NFTs. So, I mean, there's a lot of, I'm sure there's money laundering. There's just like, there's a lot of weird things going on. Like, I mean, people the kind of money that's being pushed through the NFT space is insane. I mean, why would somebody pay $3.7 million for a pixelized CryptoPunk? It's insane, but it's really what is happening right now. And these early adopters, the guys like Gary Vaynerchuk, Mark Cuban, they've gone all in. Mark Cuban, I believe, he's invested in over 100 different NFT companies. I don't even think he cares which ones succeed. I don't even think he cares. He's like, at least 2 or 3 of these will pop and he's going to be fine. So 2 or 3 will pop. They'll have billion-dollar valuations. He's fine. So he doesn't even actually care. So, but he's covered. He's like, I believe in this industry. And if a guy like Mark Cuban's going all in like that, then like something big's happening. And Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the smartest guys in the world, he's all in on it too. His VeeFriends, which was a super interesting drop, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but basically it was a time and experience NFT model. So basically the NFT holders would get a 3-year token where you can go to his VeeFriends conference. So over the next 3 years, it'll happen, and it'll have big name speakers and other fans of Gary Vee. And then on top of that, there were other NFTs that you could get that would allow you to like go bowling with Gary Vee once a year for 3 years, or you could do like a 15-minute Zoom with Gary Vee once a quarter for 3 years. So it's a time and experience model. So Gary Vee has to lend his time to each of those NFTs, but it's really smart, and he has a huge fan base, and it drives fan engagement, builds community. And I think that's one of the powerful things about NFTs is really driving fan engagement, building community. You can level up the experience for not only an individual, but a brand by doing stuff like that through NFTs. So it's pretty cool. And the initial drop, I believe, was $100 million in sales that Gary Vee generated. And then in secondary market, if you look at like Crypto Slam, which is a great site for showing NFT sales, I think it was, the last time I looked, it was like over 30 million. So 100 million in sales generated on the initial drop, and then another 30 plus million on the back end. So, I mean, he's crushing it. And that's just a great model for a lot of different companies to potentially use if you you want to.
I like this model, John. You may be onto something. As a matter of fact, when this podcast launches, any clients that sign up with Shield Advisory Group get a 1-hour happy hour with Matthew Meehan.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I like that too, man. I love this market. I think there's a lot to come with it, right? We appreciate you being on the show, John. I don't want to take up your time, but I do have one question for you before I let you run, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To everybody on the show, what does success look like to John Kraski?
Success look like to John Kraski? I'm living it right now, man. It's funny. I probably had jobs I didn't really love over the last 20 years, and I finally have the job I love. I'm learning and growing every day. I'm in an amazing industry that really leverages all my skills and abilities. I just love everything about what I'm doing. I love talking about NFTs. I love reaching out to different brands and helping them reach a new audience through NFTs. It's just exciting. So I've actually now the best version of myself in my career, which is just amazing. And I'm really proof to never give up on your dreams, because I've basically through NFTs been able to reinvent myself. I'm relevant again. I was dead in the water. I was nothing. I was just like, my resume didn't excite people. And now I have people reaching out to you left and right, and you can do it all within 6 months. It's crazy. If you just find that right fit that aligns with your skills and your natural ability, it can happen. So just never give up. That's what I'm telling everybody right now. Never give up. It's never too late.
John, congratulations, but I think you're being very humble. I would imagine that you probably give a lot of structure and polish to a room full of dudes over at NFT Genius.
I try. It really is, though. It's literally my dream job, and it's crazy. I had that vision in my head, and I just never achieved it. And then it all just sort of came together. But I'm totally in that sort of zone right now with everything going on, and I don't think NFTs are going anywhere. I think this is Web 3.0, as Gary Vee said. It's the same feeling I had when Amazon and the internet came upon. Like, I guess I was too young and inexperienced to know like how impactful and powerful that would be, and I didn't take advantage of it. But it's the same things that happen in NFT space. I'm telling you right now, this is space you want to spend time educating yourself. Like I said before, look at the Andreessen Horowitz canon. It's on my LinkedIn. Check it out. There's a link to it there. And just start to educate yourself, and start just like even one of the things I do. I'll give you guys a little pro tip, but you can set on Google Alerts. You can just put NFTs, and you can get like daily updates on NFTs, and you'll get downloaded all the different articles from different publications. So it's a great way to educate yourself. So definitely just start to absorb it. Start talking to people. Just engaging with other people, and the learning curve it's amazing. It's a steep ramp up, but you can quickly pick it up in a month or two, and then you two will be thought leaders in the NFT space before you know it. So
hey, John.
Yeah.
6 months from now, when you're the king of the NFT space, which you've already came really far in 6 months. Don't forget us. I want to talk to you again in a year to see where you are. Right?
Absolutely. Exactly. Absolutely. One other thing too is, a company here in Los Angeles, Wave Financial, they just created one of the first, I believe, NFT investment funds with a $100,000 minimum buy-in. And
really?
Yeah. I think the management fee structure is like $220, which is, I guess, standard for probably most funds. But but they've just started one, and people are all about it. So I have a couple other friends that are starting investment funds as well. The returns are insane right now, especially on those really top tier premium NFTs, like I said, the CryptoPunks, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Art Blocks. It's the wild west. And just one other thing I was going to say too, NFTs, you guys, it's interesting because Larva Labs, who created the CryptoPunks, the Meebits, and the Autoglyphs, they just signed a deal with United Talent Agency to represent them for TV, film, video games, publishing, and licensing plays. So those NFTs are now going to be seen in different forms of media, which is what's so interesting. And it's interesting with that NFT because the creators, Larva Labs, they own the rights, the IP to go and like actually license out those characters. But other NFTs like Bored Ape Yacht Club, the individual NFT owner actually owns the IP rights. So if they want to do something with Bored Ape, they're going to actually have to go through each individual NFT owner and get the rights from them. So it's weird. There's different legal setups on some of these NFTs. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, there's a lot to comprehend right now, but it's fun. It's fast. It's quickly moving. It's dynamic, but there's a lot of opportunity there. So anybody that's looking to reinvent themselves or wants to just, kind of like the new frontier, definitely spend some time learning about NFTs.
It's definitely cutting edge. Hey, John, thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys too, man. So yeah, this was fun.
Awesome. Hey guys, that's a wrap, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.
Thank you for listening to the show, and make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.